пожалуйста.
Впервые в нашей стране прошел на город возле Свердловска в каком году? Да, давайте приглашайте, сейчас вот мы должны... О, давайте, вот, вижу даже, в каком, во втором? До нашей эры попасть. Да, ну, давайте. Как в том году прошел первый раз официальный чемпионат по биатлону в нашей стране. Вот и Свердловска. Вот, принимая ответ в виде поднятой руки. Вот вижу, парень, нет, вы просто так. А, просто рукой важно. Я в теле попал, я в теле. Да. А? 2008? Какая молодец, конечно, нет. 2008. Да, давайте. Впервые в нашей стране. Ну как? В каком году прошел впервые официальный чемпионат по биатлону в нашей стране на Укусских горах возле Свердловска? Ну-ка, Верка, где такие вопросы выкопала? Никто не знает.
В интернете.
В интернете?
Я сегодня готовилась.
А ты проверяла сайты? Вдруг там таких даже год не существует, в принципе. А? Есть? Есть. Вот, есть, рассказывают мне бурные жители нашего замечательного. Да, ну что, давайте. Да, вот у нас есть один вариант ответа. Большие руки наши. В 76-м году. Нет, неправильно, давайте скажу.
Южный период, давайте очень южный.
Да, сейчас, пожалуйста. 56-й, нет, неправильно, давайте разбирайте вперед. Ну-ка, друзья, ну, правая часть, ну-ка. Ну-ка, давай, да? Какой году прошел чемпионат? Ну-ка, быстренько. Ну-ка. А, не все кричат, радуются, неинтересно, давай.
Больше людей не
биатлон, погуглили, да, ну ладно, давайте держите потом кружку какую-то, ребята. Вот, да, все должно. Молодцы, молодцы. Да, давай, Вер, теперь твой вопрос.
After taking 6 medals in 6 events at the World Championships, all eyes were on Dorin Habert in Thursday's 7.5 kilometer sprint. But Dorin Habert had trouble on the shooting range and on the skis, only to wind up in 10th spot at 45 seconds back. Kaisa MAKARAINEN found the form she's been searching for all season to take the victory despite a missed shot on the shooting range. And right behind her, just 3 seconds back, perfect on the shooting range, Gabriela Soukalova found her form that left her medalist in Oslo. Today, it's the women's 10-kilometer pursuit from Khanty-Mansiysk. Welcome everybody to the BMW IBU World Cup Biathlon, the World Cup finale from Khanty-Mansiysk, Russia, in Siberia, just north of Kazakhstan. Temperature is a little warmer today for this Siberian Saturday. The women's 10-kilometer pursuit getting underway momentarily. I'm Chad Salmala, bringing you all the action from this World Cup finale live on Eurovision live streaming. Some German flags in the crowd, some ski technicians getting ready for today's competition. The Austrian team, who had a successful men's portion of the competition yesterday with 2 in the top 4. The preparation of the ski is so important, and we saw some very strange results from the top competitors in the world in the men's category specifically, and it makes you wonder if the entire season of skiing on man-made snow has made it a little more difficult here in Khanty-Mansiysk, all on natural snow. Regardless, some odd results in the men's competition, but today it's all about the women. Kaisa MAKARAINEN proving that she has found her elusive form with a missed shot and still won by 3 seconds. Marta Olsbu, the high water mark of her career yesterday, or on Thursday we should say, in the sprint competition, placing 3rd with perfect shooting. Dorothea Wierer will start today in bib number 5, but a full 28 seconds off the time of MAKARAINEN. Fastest shooter on the World Cup is Wierer. Then Olena Petrushina, number 7. She'll start 37 seconds back of MAKARAINEN. And Nadezhda Skardino, with her best finish of the season, in 9th place. A good performance for her. I should say her 3rd best performance of the year. She had a 5th and a 6th earlier this season. Franziska Hildebrand, number 11 for Germany. The 2nd German on today's start, starting 46 seconds back. She'll be followed by her teammate Franziska Preuss in 6th position. Competitors starting the time back that they finished in the sprint competition. MAKARAINEN will start first, of course, as the winner, but she'll have company very quickly in Soukalova and Olsbu, who start 3 and 5 seconds back, respectively. Then it's number 4, Justine Brissard, who had her best World Cup performance of her career, finishing in 4th for France, 24 seconds back. She'll go 4th. Wierer right behind her 4 seconds later for Italy. Franziska Preuss will go 6th for Germany, 32 seconds behind. Olena Petrushina, who we saw checking her rifle, she'll start 34 seconds back. Then Anaïs Bescon of France will go 3 seconds behind Petrushina in bib 8. Bib 9, Skardino. Bib 10, Dorin Habert, with a disappointing performance after 6 medals in 6 events in Oslo at the World Championships. Really the dominant woman at the World Championships. The last 2 seasons, she took 2 golds, individual golds in Khanty-Mansiysk in 2015, and followed that up with 2 golds in Oslo as well. Nice crowd on hand in Khanty-Mansiysk. A little quiet at the moment, waiting for the competitors to line up. Things a little warmer today, as you see the snow melting off the roof of the competition building. Khanty-Mansiysk hosting this World Cup finale for a number of years, off and on since 2000, really where they got their start with the Junior World Championship, and they've had the World Senior Championships twice in 2003 and 2011. Gabriela Soukalova, best woman in the world, trying to hang on to the World Cup overall category. She's wearing the red and yellow bib in this pursuit event. Justine Braissat with the first top 5 of her career in 4th in the sprint on Thursday. Franziska Preuss wearing 6 for Germany, the top German. She'll know that the German men had a great day yesterday in the sprint competition. That men's pursuit to follow the women's today. It's a doubleheader from Khanty-Mansiysk. The women's pursuit score for today, Gabriela Soukalova leads by just 11 points over Dorothea Wierer. So Wierer with a chance to take the overall globe if she can distance herself from Soukalova. She's got to work it out for her, though, as she starts 25 seconds back of Soukalova, as Dorin Habert as well checking in. Dorin Habert runs in 3rd position in the pursuit score. Soukalova, however, looking pretty solid in the overall, leading the overall score by 92 points. As you see the weather, just -1 Celsius, about 30 degrees Fahrenheit. Snow temperature a little cooler because of the colder nights and the sustained colder temperatures over the course. It takes a little while for the snow to warm up to the air temperature. This 10-kilometer will be contested on a 2-kilometer loop, heading out of the stadium and climbing immediately down to the low point, where they climb back into the stadium. A challenging shooting range, to say the least, is Khanty-Mansiysk, as you see the climb back out on the course there. And your start order: 3 competitors starting within 5 seconds, and then a break to Braissat, the youngster, the 19-year-old from France. And the top 60 competitors starting. They'll be separated by just 2 minutes and 27 seconds. The final competitor from Austria, Susanne Hoffmann, starting with the bib 60. The United States has 1 competitor on the start today. That's Susan Dunkley from the United States. Canada has Julia Ransom, starting bib 54, as we get a look at Soukalova's preparation. Trying to hang on today. The order of the day for Soukalova is to maintain that 11-point lead in the pursuit competition, to hang on to the pursuit globe. The crystal globe you see right there, arguably the most coveted award in the sport, the crystal globe, as the athletes know that the medals are great at the World Championships, at the Olympic Games. They put you in the record books forever, but if you really boil it down to what the globe means, it means you've been the best, the most consistent all season long. This woman, Kaisa, has won it twice. She's not going to win a globe this year, but with a win, it's a nice way to wrap up the season in Khanty-Mansiysk, and she's got nothing to lose today, as she's got being chased by Soukalova and Olsbu. There's Braissat, the 19-year-old, still a junior competitor, and already a 4th in World Cup competition. She is clearly a star of the future. MAKARAINEN on course. Things underway here in the women's pursuit. Following very closely, Soukalova and Olsbu. Then a gap to Braissat. She'll have company with Wierer and Preuss following very closely behind, as well as Pernushina and Bescon. A fairly steady stream of athletes after Braissat. Braissat's on course. as is Wierer, and then Preuss. Produshna of Ukraine, 2 seconds behind Preuss, then Bescon, Scardino, next to go at 42 seconds. Scardino carrying the efforts of Belarus as Daria Domracheva takes a year off after contracting mono late in the training year. The top 13 competitors on course, and Güssner for Germany will start 15th. Through the top 20 at 107 back, Virolainen. So important to keep contact in the pursuit. Can afford a miss, maybe 2 if you want to be on the podium, as Dunkley from the United States takes off in bib 25. But so important to keep contact with the leaders, and to do that, you have to stay clean on the shooting range. MAKARAINEN starting fast. You can already see Soukalova getting dropped by both Olsbu and MAKARAINEN. Question here is, does Olsbu stay with MAKARAINEN? She's certainly trying, as she's dropped Soukalova, but Olsbu, the least experienced of the trio at the front, just 25 years of age. Soukalova just a year older at 26, but much more experience at leading these events. Soukalova maybe being wise, letting the 2 faster skiers take off. Olsbu was posting some of the fastest times at the World Championships day in and day out in Oslo on the skis. The difference was her shooting. Remember, ski speed is only good as long as you stay clean on the shooting range. Chasers now, Braissat and Wierer together. So the group's pairing up out there, doing the first loop dance, and MAKARAINEN has heard the start of the gun and just decided, I am going for it. Her fitness is good. She proved that in the sprint. And Soukalova, being the wily veteran, just taking it easy, skiing her own race. I like Soukalova's tactics. 0.9 kilometers separated, top 3 separated by 4.7 seconds. They were separated by 5, but it was Olsbu in third. Olsbu now just a half a second off of MAKARAINEN, so Olsbu making up the stagger that she held to MAKARAINEN at the start. These 2 competitors start at 24 seconds back. It's dropped to 28 and 29, so Braissat and Wierer losing time. Preuss started at 28 back. She's going to lose time as well. Petrushna at 37 back. Pretty much even with where she started, so Petrushna skiing well. Bescon skiing about the same as well. Hildebrand, Akimova, Dorin, Habert, Birkeland, all through the time check. Running a few seconds slower than MAKARAINEN. So MAKARAINEN starting fast, taking Olsbu with her. No problems at the start. The competitors had to start on their own volition at the time that they're designated, and if they miss or start too early, they can be handed a time penalty. Under the stadium, the top 3 athletes coming. Soukalova seemed to have had to warm up, and now back on the lead group. So MAKARAINEN starting fast, trying to drop Soukalova, but not being able to do so. Into the steep climb, into the stadium, under the crowd, a spectacular venue here in Khanty-Mansiysk. Millions and millions of rubles put into this competition today. Head out onto the 180-degree bridge. You see the skiers below them. It's quite a spectacle, this stadium. The first of 4 shooting stages coming up from the prone first, laying down 50 meters away. The chasers, Braissat and Wierer. Wierer the one with a chance at the Crystal Globe. Shooting number 1. Need to stay clean, at the most miss 1 to have a chance at it. All depends on what's going on around you. Wind flags, a little bit of flutter from the red wind flags on the shooting range as we got a shot of them. MAKARAINEN will settle on point 1. Olsbu for Norway on point 2. Soukalova point 3 for the Czech Republic. There's the wind. Nothing to really take the bullet anywhere. They should be able to just lay down and shoot. Chasers in shooting range. Oldsbu strikes first with a hit. 2 for 2. Oldsbu starting fast. Throwing caution to the wind. Oldsbu trying to take the lead. Miss for Soukalova. 4 for 4 for Oldsbu. MAKARAINEN with this. Oldsbu will take the lead. A most unexpected first shooting stage as Oldsbu skis clear, shooting fast, and Soukalova and MAKARAINEN, the more experienced athletes of the trio, will go to the penalty loop. Now Wiener's chance to take that crystal globe is wide open, and she's 3 for 3. She's 4 for 4. Dorothea Habert clean for Italy. Kaisa with a miss. Viscon is twice shooting fast for Germany. She's perfect. Viscon and Petrushina 4 for 4. Petrushina's clean. Viscon misses her final shot. Scardino's clean. Habert is clean as well as Hildebrand. Oldsbu leads by 24.7 seconds, followed by Wierer, and then MAKARAINEN 29.6 back. Soukalova at 30 back. Now, just to set it up, Wierer has to beat Soukalova by 11 points for that crystal globe. Going to need more misses from Soukalova will Wierer, and Wierer will need to remain clean. Dunkley for the United States clean has Dorothea of Belarus. The top 10 now with Hildebrand in 10th, separated by 42.6 seconds after the first shooting. The real surprise, a miss from both MAKARAINEN and Soukalova, the less experienced Oldsbu with their first podium, now leads for Norway with perfect shooting from shooting number 1. There's your top 10. The 2 misses in the top 10 from the most favored athletes, Soukalova and MAKARAINEN. Synchronized shooting. Oldsbu raising her game here in Khanty-Mansiysk. It was fast skiing in Oslo where she took 2 team medals, and now she leads for the first time in an individual competition on the World Cup. So critical for Oldsbu to just put it out of her mind that she's never been here, never been in this position. Her race to win early going in this pursuit. Oldsbu, 25 years of age, from Lillehammer, the Olympic town of 1994. Coached by Stian Eckhoff and Steinar Mundal. Wierer now with company, MAKARAINEN and Soukalova. So what we're seeing now is a battle for that crystal globe. Really one of the only crystal globes up for grabs this weekend in Khanty-Mansiysk, this pursuit crystal globe in the women's category. Royce, number 6 for Germany, trying to get on that fast train of MAKARAINEN, Soukalova, and Wierer. And it's Petrushina. The chase crew has Habert and Hildebrand of Germany, and Bertland of Norway, Scardino of Belarus, all in that second chase crew. At 2.9 kilometers, it's Oldsbu with the time of 8:43.9. After the first shoot, it was a gap of 24.7 seconds. We'll see how that stacks up on this second lap. 21.4 the gap now to MAKARAINEN. So MAKARAINEN taking time out of Oldsbu, just 3 seconds. But it's a sign that MAKARAINEN has the speed to close down that of Oldsbu. Top 10 separated now by just 36.2 seconds. So everybody skiing faster than Oldsbu. That might be an indication that Oldsbu, with the comfortable lead, taking it a little bit easy at the front and thinking about her shooting. She'll shoot again from the prone position in the second bout. So pretty much the entire top 15 making time now on Oldsbu. Not a bad tactic if it was 21 seconds is still a penalty loop. So she's forcing the others to chase, taking it a little more conservatively on the course, increasing her chances at a solid shooting to continue to lead. So many distinct tactics that one can take in Oldsbu's position. try to extend your lead and throw a little caution to the wind, trying to shoot a little hard, ski a little harder and not worry about the shooting. And it's a double-edged sword. You can go either way. You can slow down and have it and still miss shots and lose time both on the course and the shooting range. Royce skiing very well for Germany as she's appears to be making time on the first chase group, and Dorin Habert is pulling the rest of the field right to that first chase group as well. Into the stadium for a second time. Oldsbu leads. Somewhat unexpected. If I had to handicap that first shooting, I would have expected these two, Soukalova in the blue and MAKARAINEN in the white, to shoot well and Oldsbu to miss. But that's biathlon. Absolutely dead calm on the shooting range. Perfect conditions in Khanty-Mansiysk for this women's pursuit. A doubleheader. The men will go after the women later today. Still 3 shootings left. The second shooting from the prone position. Oldsbu leads. She led by 21.4 seconds at the last time check. Just trying to keep it together. Oldsbu's first miss. Second shot for number 2. She'll have one tripper on the 150-meter penalty loop. Oldsbu 4 for 5. She goes to the penalty loop. Now the door open for Wierer, Soukalova, and MAKARAINEN. Well, the entire top 10 has a shot at the lead. If anybody misses in front. MAKARAINEN 3 for 3. Wierer and MAKARAINEN 4 for 4. Wierer clean, MAKARAINEN clean. Soukalova perfect so far. Price with a miss. Soukalova takes her time but gets the final shot. Dorin Habert is clean as well. Dorin Habert moving through the field. And Dorothea Wierer will hit the second time check after second shooting first. 1.4 seconds ahead of MAKARAINEN. Then it's Soukalova 4.6 back. Oldsbu exit the penalty loop in 4th, 8.2 back. Then Dorin Habert right on her heels, and her teammate Fanny Birkeland following closely as well. Birkeland perfect on the shooting range so far. Hauser, Bescon, and Dubrajeva all clean from the second shooting as well. Dunkley 5 for 5 for the United States. Things tightening up. Top 9 separated only by 20 seconds as they head out onto the third ski loop. Hildebrandt and Bescon 32 and 33 seconds back respectively. Price 3 back for Germany. Dunkley moving up from 25th to 15th with clean shooting. 41.4 seconds back for the United States. Again, 60 competitors on the start for the sprint results. But after shooting 2, it's Dorothea Wierer, the woman who needs to distance herself from Gabriela Soukalova to take the Crystal Globe. It's an 11-point gap. 60 points to win. After shooting 2, it's Italy, France, Finland, and the Czech Republic. Clean shooting for Wierer has put her in the lead. 1 miss each from Soukalova and MAKARAINEN and Oldsbu. Dorin Habert, who started 10th, running in 5th position. The lead pack. The cream has risen to the top after 2 shooting stages. In MAKARAINEN, Wierer, and Soukalova. Wierer happy to let MAKARAINEN lead. I think that's a smart tactic from Wierer. She has not exhibited the best ski form of her season. So 3 at the front, then Dorin Habert, Oldsbu, and Birkeland. Birkeland, number 13, running in 6th with clean shooting, has found her race fitness, the best race fitness of her season. Petrushina following in 7th, followed closely by Scardino. Both Petrushina and Scardino are clean on the shooting range. Coming to the 4.9 kilometer mark, nearly halfway. The prone shooting is complete. On to the less stable standing shooting. Skis look pretty even for the top 3 competitors, but Marie Dorin Habert continues to eat up the time. Dorin Habert was following by 8.6 seconds at the last time check. She's cut that in half to 4.3, and Olsbu's getting the ride with her, as is Birkeland. It looks as though the top three will be joined by the next three, as Dorin Habert pulls Olsbu and Birkeland closer. Petrushina 14.9 seconds back. She's losing time. She was 11.4 back after the second shoot. So the top 4th through 6th are making time on the leaders. Everybody else losing a bit of time. Dunkley marking time with the leaders. She's got with her bib 17, Dorothea of Belarus. The two Norwegians now being caught out as Dorin Habert, they're unable to stay with her. Dorin Habert has joined the leaders at the front of the field. So Dorin Habert looking like her fitness is solid again, maybe a little flat after a great World Championships. A little flat on the ski speed at day 1 at Khanty-Mansiysk. She's had a race now and a day to recover, and now skiing with the leaders. MAKARAINEN, Wierer, Soukalova, and Dorin Habert. 4 biggest names in the World Cup overall at the moment. In fact, those are your top 4 in the world in the top 4 standings. Birkeland now catching the group. Olsbu struggling a little bit more. Surprised to see Birkeland forcing the pace. Kaisa MAKARAINEN likes to lead when she's fit. Fanny Birkeland exhibiting some great form, just hanging off the back of that lead pack. Finland, Italy, Czech Republic, France, then Norway and Norway. Shooting number 3 from the standing position. Such a mental battle now, as the chances to win have dwindled really down to about 8 athletes. But for Petrushina and Scardino, they're going to need misses at the front. Things are very tight. MAKARAINEN on point 1, Wierer on point 2. Watch for fast shooting from Wierer. Fastest shooter in the world. Simone Eder, if you will, of the women's field. Wierer already set up. But Olsbu strikes first. Olsbu with a miss though. Wierer with a miss. Birkeland with a miss. MAKARAINEN with a miss. Everybody melting a bit. Dorin Habert is 4 for 4. Dorin Habert shoots clean. MAKARAINEN with a miss. Soukalova clean. It becomes a race between Dorin Habert and Soukalova. As Wierer goes to the penalty loop, Soukalova's chance at the Crystal Globe is quite good. Petrushina with 2 costly misses. Scardino with a miss. 2 misses for Scardino as well. So a little bit of a meltdown on shooting number 3, except for Dorin Habert of France and Soukalova. The world 1 and 3. Coming out of the penalty loop, the gap, 19.8 seconds to second place for Wierer. Olsbu's right with her, as is Birkeland and MAKARAINEN. Dunkley with 3 misses from the United States. MAKARAINEN, Preuss, and Hauser, 6th, 7th, and 8th, all within 30 seconds. This race is still not over. 8 women within 33 seconds. And you can count on Dorin Habert and Soukalova forcing the pace on the course in the 4th ski leg. Akimova now in 10th for Russia, the top Russian. 54 seconds back. Kaisa started 4th, was down in 11th spot with 2 misses on the day. Here is your leaderboard. 0 misses for Dorin Habert. She's moved from 10th into 1st. Erased a 45-second gap to take the lead after 2 shooting stages. And she's done that with very fast skiing and perfect shooting. Wierer, who has an opportunity still to take the Crystal Globe, but she's going to need to rely on this woman, Gabriela Soukalova, missing at least 2 shots in the final shooting stage. Back out on course. A battle of wills between the world number 1, Gabriela Soukalova, and the world number 3, Marie-Dorin Habert. Excuse me, the world number 2. Separated by 92 points in the overall standings. They'll likely finish the season in that position, first and second. And now Dorin Habert trying to force the pace. Looking very good on the skis today is Dorin Habert. She looked a little flat in the sprint competition. Had just 1 miss and could only muster a 10th. Normally a penalty would have still put Dorin Habert in the running, but looking much snappier today. You watch the end of her kicks, they're very quick, very crisp. MAKARAINEN forcing the pace in the first 3 laps, and that may have cost her with a miss, a second miss from the 3rd shooting stage. Time gap, 23 seconds, time growing. Dorin Habert is starting to put the force on the skis now, and MAKARAINEN is not able to respond, losing 3 seconds from the shooting range to the 6.9 kilometer mark. Olsbu running 4th in the group with MAKARAINEN, as is Wierer and Birkeland and Preuss, then Hildebrand and Hauser with a gap to the top 7. Dorin Habert and Soukalova have to be perfect to guarantee anything. They have a gap, but it's not a big one. It's about a penalty loop. MAKARAINEN chasing after a solid win with a penalty with the sprint competition. 18 career wins for her. Was the World Cup overall champion in 2014 and 2011. Marie-Dorin Habert, mostly a big world championship performer. Best she's ever finished in the overall is 4th. She's doing better than that, being in 2nd this year. So really Dorin Habert, your leader, having the best year of her career. Soukalova marking. Soukalova with 1 miss on the day, Dorin Habert with none. Soukalova with a 42-second gap at the start tells you just how fast Marie-Dorin Habert is skiing. MAKARAINEN looking a little more labor now, as is Olsbu, as they lose time to the 2 leaders. Final shooting stage in the final pursuit of the season. For the Crystal Globe, all Gabriela Soukalova has to do is shoot 5 for 5 for the win and the Globe. But she has Marie-Dorin Habert to deal with. Chasers enter the range. Miss right off the bat for Dorin Habert. Door wide open for Gabriela Soukalova. Soukalova with a miss. Door open for the chasers. Both Soukalova and Dorin Habert will go to the penalty loop, each of them with 1. MAKARAINEN, Preuss, Olsbu, Birkeland, and Wierer with fast shooting could take the lead, but they can't take their time. Olsbu, who's been shooting fast all day, starts first. Olsbu's 3 for 3. Wierer is 3 for 3 as well. Olsbu with a miss. Wierer is 4 for 4. Wierer goes 5 for 5. Preuss is clean. Birkeland is clean. MAKARAINEN taking her time, but she's clean as well. It's going to be a drag race for the win in Khanty-Mansiysk. 4 clean shooters in the final stage. And Marie-Joanne Habert, despite a penalty loop, takes the lead, but she's got company. Wierer, 0.2 of a second back. Soukalova there, as well as Price, Björklund, and MAKARAINEN. Now it's a question of who has got the energy left to take the win in Khanty. Spectacular biathlon in Khanty-Mansiysk, as just 4.6 seconds separate the top 6, not just the medals, the top 6. The first kilometer will be a big one. It's only a 2-kilometer lap, but the first K will tell a lot about who's got what left. Kaisa in 8th, Zima in 9th, Produshna in 10th. That's your top 10. There's the top 6 separated by 4.6 seconds. And it just exhibits why this sport of biathlon is so thrilling. A humdinger in Khanty. A drag race between 6 athletes for the final pursuit victory of this 2016 season. Marie-Joanne Habert has looked good all day, despite a miss on the final shooting stage. She was near perfect. And now back out on the course, MAKARAINEN forcing the issue. She takes the lead. She proved that she had great finishing speed in the sprint competition. Can she do it today? The Finn at the front, saying, "Catch me if you can," and nobody seems to be able to. Kaisa MAKARAINEN skiing away for victory. She's got about a kilometer left. The German coach is cheering on Franziska Preuss to get on the podium for the first time this season. But MAKARAINEN proving that she may have just too much in fitness to be overtaken for the victory. Can she make it 2 for 2? MAKARAINEN takes a look back, and it's Soukalova now pushing. Marie-Joanne Habert has had to push all race just to get back into it. She started 45 seconds out, and she looked great on the skis, but really she had to make up a lot of time early on and use her effort early in the race. MAKARAINEN able to hang on to a little bit of fitness, and now looking like she can take the victory if she can hang on now. She led by just 0.2 of a second after shooting 4. What'll be the gap now? It's over a half a second, I can guarantee you that. 4 seconds now, 5.6 seconds the gap to Soukalova, and it's a 4-person race for second and third. Wierer looks the most labored and the most difficult to stay with the group. Preuss putting on a little bit of a speed to get around Dorin Habert. So Kaisa MAKARAINEN trying to make it a double victory in Khanty-Mansiysk in the sprint and pursuit. And the gap looks like it's growing. Skis are running well for the Finn. Then 4 athletes for 2 medals. Dorin Habert steps out of the slipstream of Soukalova, as does Preuss. A little bit of a slingshot effect. May not be any difference in skis, just the chance to get behind somebody and get the slipstream and move past. Soukalova saying, "Nothing doing, I'm not letting you go." Preuss now with a burst of speed, the German in the yellow, black, and red suit. Little bit of the gap being eaten up on this downhill to MAKARAINEN, the 4 working together to catch the 1 out in front. Wierer now takes the lead. A lot of that jostling, really just the slipstream on that fast downhill and taking the draft. MAKARAINEN now may be in trouble as the group making up a little bit of that 5.6 second gap. MAKARAINEN catching a lap skier, but heading towards the finish. Then it's Dorin Habert in second. Dorothea Wierer, everybody else is faded. It's MAKARAINEN first, Dorin Habert second, and then a drag race for the final and 3rd podium spot. MAKARAINEN, Dorin Habert making time on MAKARAINEN, but is she making enough? That's the question. Wierer hanging on to 3rd. Soukalova marking her into the final stretch. Down into the finish they come. Dorin Habert trying to catch MAKARAINEN. MAKARAINEN not a good sprint finisher, but she's gonna hang on. Kaisa MAKARAINEN makes it 2 for 2 in Khanty-Mansiysk. Dorin Habert second, and Dorothea Wierer hangs on for 3rd. Soukalova 4th, Preuss 5th, and and fearful into a spectacular performance for her in sixth. Gabriela Soukalova stymied again, fourth on the day. 0.8 of a second off the podium. She will sew up that crystal globe by the narrowest of margins as Wierer got the better of her and in the finish. Petrushina across the line, Olsen figured into it early, and Jima moves from 26th all the way up to 9th with perfect shooting for Ukraine. Gaisa, who started 4th, 2 penalties on the day, she comes across in 10th. Anaïs Bescon started 8th, drops to 11th with 3 penalties on the day. Then Hauser started 16th, she'll end up 12th with a 1 missed day. Hildebrand from Germany goes from 11th to 13th, 2 missed shots. An absolute barn burner in Khanty-Mansiysk on this doubleheader. Kaisa MAKARAINEN wins by 1.5 seconds over Marie Dorin Habert, and Dorothea Wierer wins a 4-way sprint for 3rd. Scardino into 15th, Akimova right ahead of her, 1:40 and 41 back respectively. Then Dahlmeier, who started 36th, moved up to 16th. Hammerschmidt in 17th. Katerina Yurlova, the second Russian across the line, in 18th. Kristina Gutzik started 19th. She'll finish in the same spot, 2 minutes back. And then Selena Gasparin drops from 14th to 20th. Oberhofer from 28th to 21st. Susan Dunkley started 25th. She'll move up just a bit to 22nd. And Kroniko right behind her in 23rd. Burson, Mona Burson of Sweden, 24th. Gregorin and Vitozzi. Gregorin of Slovenia, Vitozzi of Italy across the 25th and 26th. Nikolaisen of Norway, 27th. Zagoruko, 28th. Nadine Horkler, 29th. And the top 30 was the Dubarajeva of Belarus. Chevalier into 31st. World Cup points to the top 40, 8.8 spots left for those. As number 54, Julia Ransom from Canada, moves up to 34th in some World Cup points for her. Dorothea Wierer gets on the podium again in the final pursuit. The second-ranked athlete in the pursuit score, but she needed an 11-point gap to take the Crystal Globe. She didn't get that today, finishing just ahead of Gabriela Soukalova. Baiba Bendika in 35th, Dora Virolainen in 36th. Tandrevold getting points in 37th for Norway in her first World Cup weekend. Andersson of Sweden, 38th. Shimilova, 39th. And the final points go to Jurkevich of Belarus in 40th. Miriam Gustner dropped all the way down to 43rd for Germany. Her shooting demons continuing, 7 misses on the day. Into 44th, Tachizaki, who started 23rd, 4 penalties, finishing 353.2 back, and Aita Gasparin in 45th, excuse me. Katrin Hintz, or Veronica Hintz, Vanessa Hintz, excuse me, getting the first name right, Vanessa Hintz, 46th. Haki of Switzerland, 47th. As they continue to trickle in across the line, the 60 starters on the day now racing for pride as the points are gone, the podium's decided. Kaisa MAKARAINEN, perfect record in Khanty-Mansiysk in 2016 so far. 2 starts, 2 wins, making it look easy. If only it were. If only she could do this every day. Yuzlova and Solomdal in a photo finish for 48th position. Erzen in 50th. 10 more competitors to finish, and then we'll move to the flower ceremony. A reminder, this is a doubleheader on Fisa Retsova, the Olympic champion from 1988 in cross-country skiing, as well as 92 in biathlon there in the background. Famous Russian athlete, both cross-country skiing and biathlon. Fialkova for Slovakia into 51st. And her sister into 52nd. The two Fialkovas of Slovakia, sister act. Just 8 more competitors to the finish. Bib 50. That's France's Cilia Armonier. She'll come across the line 53rd. 8 costly mistakes for Armonier, a very fast young skier for the French team. Watch for her in the future. 7 more competitors to call across the finish line. The next is Bib 58, Iana Bondar. Started 2:12 back. Will finish a sight further back than that at 6:22, 6:21.7. Bondar, just 25 years of age, from Balia Serkov. Getting her 9th start on the World Cup today in this pursuit this season. Bib 60, our final starter, Susanna Hoffman, will come in 55th, bettering 5 people on the day. The men coming up in a couple hours' time. We hope you'll join us for that, as Julian Eberhardt, clean shooting in the sprint yesterday, electrified the Austrian fans with a 1.1 second victory over superstar Simon Schemp. And you've got to love an underdog story, and Eberhardt is exactly that. A big task for him to hold together 4 shooting stages later today. But now it was about the women. Kaisa MAKARAINEN made it 2 for 2 in Khanty-Mansiysk. She said earlier in the year in Presque Isle, when the temperatures dropped and were frigid, that she likes cold temps. Well, it warmed up in Khanty-Mansiysk and it didn't seem to affect her. And there you saw the race for 3rd, very close between Soukalova and Wierer for 3rd, as number 40 comes across the line. Ji-hee Moon. Standings at the finish, 2 misses on the day. It was still enough to win for Kaisa MAKARAINEN, who started first. She ended first after 2 trips around the penalty loop. Marie-Dorin Habert with 1 miss, starting in 10th. Second, 1.5 seconds back. Dorothea Wierer hung on for 3rd, right ahead of the world number 1 Gabriela Soukalova. It's Franziska Preuss with a solid 5th place finish. Preuss not on the podium individually this year, came so close. Again, she had a 4th in the sprint in the opener in Östersund, had a back problem, actually had a broken bone in her back. Preuss had to take off the middle of the season, and she's proven that she can come back at age 22. She fought it out for a podium spot, but will only finish in 5th, 6.6 seconds back. Dorothea Wierer with a solid performance. Tried to take the globe from Gabriela Soukalova, but came up just a bit short. She'll take the 3rd spot on the podium. Marie-Dorin Habert continues.